Hi! Hey guys, so now we're over at the Brooder house and we wanted to show you in a video because it's just way easier to see than in pictures. But we wanted to show you kind of what the setup looks like up close. So we have 3 rooms like this, and all of them have doors with like a black tarp over them and with a hole cut out. So when I first come in, I try to be as quiet as possible and I peek through those holes to see where they're laying under the lights, because that tells me if the temperature is right or too hot, too cold, what we need to do to adjust it. It seems kind of wild, but right now at this young of an age, the temperature is actually the most critical thing. Obviously they need clean water and food and stuff, but if the temperature is slightly wrong and there's any amount of draft, the heat's just not where it needs to be, they will die. They, I swear, find ways to die. It's terrible. So what we look at is their placement on or underneath the lamps. If they're completely piled up under the lamp, it tells me that they're way too cold and I either need to add more lamps or lower the lamps. What we want to see is, here, I'm gonna try and, what we want to see is them spread out like this. A little bit difficult to see just because we're in here, so they're a little bit, you know, running around, waking up. But see how there's that gap under there? There's that hole. That's telling me that they're spreading out and they're kind of staying on the edge of the lamp. That the temperature is really good for them. So we're gonna keep the lamps right where they are today. The other coops had the same thing. They were all spread out very nicely. If they spread out too far, it tells me that it's getting too hot and we need to change the lamps there too. So we keep them in the brooder here for the first 3 weeks of life. The first probably 3 days we will keep the temp around the 95 degrees. Now that's super challenging in here because we don't have an auto set anything. It's just lamps, they're either on or off, that's it. So we really have to play with it by figuring out the placement. Lila, please stop. Please stop. She's throwing feet everywhere. We really have to work with the placement of the lamps, the height of the lamps, and that's kind of how we play with the temperature and adjust it. So it can be pretty tricky, but we've been doing it for a few years in here. We're on year 2 of this brooder house, so we're always learning. But yeah, we'll start turning off after about 5 to 7 days. We'll start raising the lamps, turning some off, and eventually by week 3 the chicks will have more of their down feathers and they'll get rid of some of this fluff, and then we'll be able to start transitioning them outside. We'll do a whole bunch of change with the lights. Lila, please be careful. You're gonna tip all the waters over, or this water over. We'll do a bunch of different things with the lights. We'll open doors, get airflow in here to give them a draft. Right now they can't have the draft, but in a couple weeks that draft will help encourage more down feathers to grow and get them prepped and hardy to go outside. So that's what that looks like. And then a bunch of waters. Like I said the other day, we put lots in here so that they basically trip over the waters when they first come, so that they can absolutely find the water in the feed. Now they definitely know where everything is, so now we just keep them clean and fresh. Some are plain, some have vitamins in, and some have apple cider vinegar. We do that because it helps with just making sure that we're giving them their supplemented nutrition that they need, helping with their gut and their overall health. That will give them a better chance of surviving outside and just growing healthy. I know there's a lot of bad talk about broilers and Cornish cross breed because they grow so fast that they get too heavy for their legs, which also can kill them. But if you do it right and you set up their internals just like humans, the better our gut works, the healthier we are, the better everything else works. So we do the same thing with our cattle, the pigs, the chickens. There's a lot of science that kind of goes into it, but yeah, so wanted to show you guys that, and we're gonna go ahead and add feed, change the waters, and move on to the next 2 coops. Oh, I wanted to show you guys too. So the other thing that we do in here is every door has 2 hinges, which seems kind of overkill to some people, but raccoon, weasel, and mink are the main 3 predators that we have to deal with, especially with the brooders, when chicks are super little. So those 3 animals are incredibly smart. and they can get into just about anything. So we have 2 latches on each door, one at the bottom, one at the top, so if they can get one, they can't get the other one. Versus having them right next to each other, if they can reach one, well, they're going to get the other one open. So, and then we have the radio. If you listen in the background, we've got talk radio on, and we do that just to help. We figure if there's voices, there's communication, there's podcasts going on, then animals will just assume people are up here, they're not going to come near us, and they'll stay clear. So far so good, knock on wood, because it's working, but we don't want to jinx it. So that's that. We'll keep you guys updated as the season goes, but we're going to go check the other 2 groups. Have a good day.